Fresh from a role in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Marilyn Monroe gets Look's award as the most promising young film star from Lauren Bacall, with whom she's now starring in How to Marry a Millionaire.
On behalf of Look magazine, I'd like to present to you the Look Achievement Award as the most outstanding feminine newcomer of 1952. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lauren. And my thanks to Look magazine.
She was born Norma Jean Baker, and her Cinderella story of the deprived, abused waif who soared to the heights of international fame can still weave a magic spell. Marilyn Monroe became the sex goddess for an era in films like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Some Like It Hot. In her unrealized quest for love, she married and divorced Yankee slugger Joe DiMaggio and Broadway playwright Arthur Miller. Although she had affairs with many others, Monroe was destined never to find happiness.
Marilyn Monroe, the golden girl of Hollywood, leaves behind a glittering and tragic legend. But whatever her personal and professional difficulties might have been, the world lost something radiant when Marilyn Monroe took her leave of it.
When her nude, lifeless body was discovered in her bedroom, every major paper in the world carried the story. Her death came as a terrible shock, but the cause was not surprising to the millions of fans who believed she was as vulnerable and weak as her breathless image.
You work with Marilyn Monroe on How to Marry a Millionaire. How was the experience of working with her?
It was fine. I mean, we got along very well. My only complaint about her was that she was late all the time. But she was late out of fear as much as anything else. But it was hard to sit around and wait, you know. But she was usually an hour or two late every morning.
You strike me as such different types, probably off the screen, certainly on the screen.
Oh, yes, we are. I mean, I wish I had been as photogenic as she was. But, she was a very kind of sweet, kind of far away, very self-involved, but not, I mean, she had no meanness. She was not bitchy. She was not strident in any way. She was just always seemed a little lost to me, wistful kind of, but just kind of not quite there. Do you know what I mean? And you'd be playing a scene with her, and she would go over and over the scene, and you'd have to be on your toes because she'd do many, many takes. And she always had the coach on the set, which was a big annoyance, you know, that's constantly, instead of looking at you, she'd be looking at the coach. That kind of thing was difficult. But personally, she really was sweet. I mean, we did get along well.
You've had some fascinating people come through your life. God knows. One of them was Marilyn Monroe when you did How to Marry a Millionaire. Did you have any concept at that point, because that was kind of at the really beginning of her explosion as a star, that she was going to become this legendary icon that she is today?
Well, she was a star then.
Right.
She got first billing then in that movie. So she'd already made it, but she was growing still. I didn't have a sense of that. And I don't know whether she was, some people say she was always nervous about coming onto the set. That's why she was always late. She always had the makeup man there with her, and she had the coach on the set standing behind the director all the time. And at the end of a take, she'd look at the coach, and the coach would say, and so Marilyn would say, I have to do that again. We have to do it again. And when she played a scene, she looked here. She never looked into your eyes.
Hiya, Shotzi.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Congratulations, honey. We read about it on the plane. I think it's just creamy.
You know how much he's got?
How much?
15 mil.
Rather.
Give or take a mil.
Have you been shopping yet?
When they open the doors, I fall in.
But she was sweet. And we went to the opening together.
Famous shots of you and
the three of
Bogart.
us, yeah. She sure registered on that screen. I mean, the minute, boy, that camera turned on her, she became this incredible creature. She was. No question about that. I mean, here she was in this movie with Grable and myself. Betty Grable was the most marvelous, down-to-earth, easygoing, great girl. She was painting Marilyn's toenails for the scene when we were all sitting around in the fashion show. I mean, you know, the fact that she was late on the set got to be annoying sometimes. Too many takes for a scene was annoying sometimes. But it was not of meanness. It wasn't to get even or to annoy the woman you were in the scene with. Well, it had nothing to do with it. She just didn't connect with anybody, but she was just herself. And she was absolutely dazzling as herself.